Nuclear weapon. A nuclear weapon is a type of explosive device that derives its destructive power from nuclear reactions, either fission, splitting of atomic nuclei, or fusion, joining of atomic nuclei. These reactions release an enormous amount of energy in the form of a blast wave, thermal radiation, and ionizing radiation, which can cause widespread destruction and long-term environmental damage. Nuclear weapons are typically classified as either strategic or tactical, based on their intended use and range. Strategic nuclear weapons are designed to be used against an enemy's cities, military installations, or other high-value targets, and are typically delivered by intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, or strategic bombers. Tactical nuclear weapons, on the other hand, are intended for use on the battlefield against enemy troops, tanks, or other military targets, and are typically delivered by artillery shells, rockets, or short-range missiles. The use of nuclear weapons is highly controversial, due to their destructive power and the potential for long-term environmental and health effects. The detonation of a nuclear weapon can cause immediate death and destruction within the blast radius, as well as long-term effects such as radiation sickness, cancer, and genetic mutations. As a result, the use of nuclear weapons has been limited to 2 occasions in history: the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the United States during World War II. Since then, efforts have been made to reduce the number and role of nuclear weapons in global security. Who invented the nuclear weapon? The nuclear weapon was not invented by a single person, but rather through the collaborative efforts of many scientists, engineers, and military personnel from several countries over several decades. The theoretical foundations for nuclear weapons were laid by physicists such as Albert Einstein, Enrico Fermi, and Leo Szilard in the 1930s, who demonstrated the possibility of a chain reaction in which the nucleus of an atom could be split to release a large amount of energy. During World War II, the United States initiated the Manhattan Project, a secret research and development program aimed at developing the first nuclear weapon. The project was led by physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, and involved the efforts of thousands of scientists and engineers, including many who had fled Nazi Germany. The first successful test of a nuclear weapon, code-named Trinity, was conducted on July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Following the end of the war, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a nuclear arms race, leading to the development of more advanced and powerful nuclear weapons over the decades. Today, several countries possess nuclear weapons, and the continued existence and spread of these weapons remain a major concern for global security. What's the biggest nuclear bomb in the world? The biggest nuclear bomb ever detonated was the Tsar Bomba, which was tested by the Soviet Union on October 30, 1961. The bomb had a yield of 50 megatons of TNT, which is equivalent to 50 million tons of TNT. To put that in perspective, the explosive power of the Tsar Bomba was over 3,000 times greater than the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima during World War II. The blast generated a mushroom cloud that reached a height of 67 kilometers, over 7 times the height of Mount Everest, and was visible from over 1,000 kilometers away. However, it is important to note that the Tsar Bomba was an experimental device and was never intended for use as an actual weapon. In fact, most nuclear weapons in modern arsenals have much smaller yields than the Tsar Bomba, with the largest operational weapon being the Russian Federation's RDS-220, or Tsar Bomba's little brother, which had a yield of 25 megatons. Which countries have nuclear bomb? As of my knowledge cutoff of September 2021, there are 9 countries that are known or believed to possess nuclear weapons. These countries are United States, Russia, China, France, United Kingdom, India, Pakistan, North Korea, Israel. It is important to note that not all of these countries have officially acknowledged possessing nuclear weapons, and some have adopted a policy of deliberate ambiguity regarding their nuclear capabilities. Additionally, there are several countries that have either had nuclear weapons in the past or are suspected of pursuing them, such as Iran and Syria. List the top 10 nuclear accident in the world? 1. Chernobyl disaster, 1986. The explosion and fire at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine is widely considered the worst nuclear accident in history. releasing massive amounts of radioactive material into the environment and causing thousands of deaths and long-term health effects. 2. Fukushima Daiichi disaster, 2011. A massive earthquake and tsunami in Japan caused a nuclear meltdown at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, resulting in the release of radioactive material and the evacuation of tens of thousands of people. 3. 3 Mile Island accident, 1979. A partial meltdown of a reactor at the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania caused the release of radioactive gases and forced the evacuation of thousands of people. 4. Kyshtym disaster, 1957. An explosion at the Mayak nuclear fuel reprocessing plant in the Soviet Union released large amounts of radioactive material, contaminating an area of over 20,000 square kilometers. 5. Windscale fire, 1957. A fire in a reactor at the Windscale nuclear plant in the United Kingdom released radioactive material and caused significant damage to the facility. 6. Tokamura nuclear accident, 1999. A criticality accident at a nuclear fuel processing plant in Japan caused the release of radioactive material and led to the deaths of 2 workers. 7. Goiânia accident, 1987. An abandoned radiation therapy unit in Brazil was scavenged for scrap metal, leading to the accidental exposure of over 200 people to radioactive material and several deaths. 8. SL-1 reactor accident, 1961. A criticality accident at a nuclear reactor in Idaho caused an explosion and the deaths of 3 workers. 9. Church Rock uranium mill spill, 1979. A tailings dam failure at a uranium mill in New Mexico released radioactive waste into the environment, contaminating the surrounding land and waterways. 10. Fukushima Daini disaster, 2011. The Fukushima Daini nuclear power plant was also damaged by the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, resulting in the loss of cooling capability and raising the risk of a meltdown. However, the plant's emergency systems managed to prevent a full-scale disaster. If we do not want die together in war, we must learn together in peace.
Subscribe for more horrors and mysterious videos. Thanks.